Just 2 years after the launch of ChatGPT, generative AI has changed everything.
Everything changed.
Everything's changed.
Now everyone and their grandma knows what a large language model is. Every software company under the sun has rebranded as AI-powered, and a global race for compute power is underway. AI is creating winners of those who can keep up, and losers of those who can't. And if you want to win, then you need to understand AI agents, the next evolution of AI systems that are quickly replacing chatbots as the face of artificial intelligence. If you're not an expert by now, then this is your chance to catch up. My name is Guy, and you need to lock in. Alright, so what is an AI agent? Is the CIA hiring large language models now? Well, okay, probably yes, but let's not go there. Put simply, an AI agent is a self-governing AI with the ability to carry out tasks on its own, without human intervention. This rather broad definition includes everything from a Roomba vacuum cleaner to a humanoid inhabited by artificial general intelligence. And by this standard, AI agents have existed since at least 1997, when IBM's Deep Blue beat then world chess champion Garry Kasparov. So, what's new? AI's roots stretch back almost a century to early neural networks in the 1940s. But for most of the 20th century, AI was pure science fiction. We didn't have the computers needed to simulate anything like intelligence. It's only recent breakthroughs in hardware, model architectures, and data acquisition that have enabled generative AI at scale. In November 2022, the launch of ChatGPT offered the first glimpse of how AI is going to change the world. For all its flaws, it was truly groundbreaking, a system that absorbed more information than any human in history and started transforming industries almost overnight. And the crazy part is, it achieved all this largely within the confines of a chat window. ChatGPT is basically just a souped-up Siri. It might be a genius, but it's still a disembodied content generator whose main trick is speaking when spoken to. But that era is ending. Chatbots are old news, and a new generation of AI agents is replacing them as the new front end of AI. Agents are the brains unshackled from the chat window and given the ability to act autonomously in the real or digital world. And we're not just talking about vacuum cleaners or chess computers anymore. This is about AI that can learn, adapt, and perform much of the work humans can do, and more. Now, to be clear, AI agents aren't just large language models plucked out of the chatbot interface. They're complex systems of which an LLM is just one component. The composition of the system will vary depending on the form and function of the AI agent, but they typically combine the following properties: autonomy, meaning the ability to make decisions independently, and agency, meaning the ability to act on these decisions. Augmentation and extensibility, meaning the ability to self-enhance and expand a skill set. And goal orientation, complex problem solving, and long-term planning. Already, you can probably see how this implies capabilities far beyond those of an LLM alone. So, what are the other parts of the system that make this all possible? Well, components common to most AI agent systems include sensors, actuators, a control system, and a learning and memory system. Sensors gather data inputs, sometimes called percepts, from the agent's environment, whether physical or digital. These sensors could be hardware, like a microphone for detecting sound, or a LiDAR system for measuring distance, or software-based, like a web search or API querying function for collecting data from the internet. Actuators, meanwhile, are the digital or physical appendages that the agent uses to perform actions. So, this could be an actual robotic limb used to interact with the physical world, or it could be a software tool enabling the agent to post on social media, make financial transactions, or delete files from a computer, and so on. Now, the control system is the brain of the agent, where input from the sensors is processed, decisions are made, and commands are sent to the actuators. There's a lot going on here, and it's important to note that the large language model alone is not the brain. If you know how LLMs work, you'll know that their intelligence is basically a mirage. They produce natural-sounding language not by the same processes of logic, reasoning, awareness, or understanding that us humans do, but merely by predicting what text is most likely to follow a given prompt. It's basically pattern recognition taken to an extreme. In the control system of the AI agent, the cognitive functions that the LLM lacks are outsourced to specialized systems like structured reasoning modules, causal inference frameworks, and decision-making algorithms. The LLM coordinates and integrates these components with its own natural language processing to simulate rational thought, decision-making, and communication. And lastly, the learning and memory system enables the agent to compound its knowledge and grow accordingly by providing a database of experiences, including past data input, problems encountered, and solutions found. Hold up a second there, Guy. Sorry to interrupt, folks, but I just wanted to very quickly tell you about the Coin Bureau deals page. Now, this is the place where we have put together some of the very best deals and promos in all of crypto. So you can think things like exchange sign-up bonuses, trading fee discounts, and money off of hardware wallets, and much, much more besides. So if you want to check that out, coinbureau.com/deals is the place to go, or you can just use the link in the description of this video down below. Thanks very much, and now back to you, Guy. So this basic architecture applies to AI agents regardless of whether or not they're embodied as machines in the physical world. However, it's worth thinking about embodied and disembodied AI agents separately. They are both going to change the world, but in different ways and at different times. The idea of embodied AI agents autonomously working for us naturally brings to mind humanoid robots. People have been fixated with this idea for a century, and Tesla is only the latest company to loudly declare that its humanoids are on their way to roaming our streets and saving us from menial tasks. However, this is not likely to happen anytime soon. To find out why, check out our video about humanoid robots and artificial general intelligence, linked to in the description. The TLDR is that most tasks that can be automated don't need a human-shaped robot to do them and are better performed by purpose-built machinery. A humanoid form is only justified if there is a truly general-purpose AI agent inhabiting it. The kind of truly general-purpose AI that can justify a humanoid form, with all the manual dexterity, flexibility, and sensory abilities that this entails, implies artificial general intelligence, or AGI. If you're not familiar, AGI refers to a human level of intelligence, and it's considered the holy grail of sorts in AI development. What we have today is a very roundabout and costly way of synthesizing content that looks like the work of an intelligent human. It's not even in the same ballpark as AGI, which for the moment is a futuristic concept that we don't even fully understand. Of course, if we climb down a few notches from this humanoid endgame, there are plenty more feasible applications for embodied AI agents in the present. Take self-driving cars, for example. Tesla has been advertising full self-driving since 2014, so surely they can't be far away now. Autonomous vehicles are a good example of agentic AI because they check basically every box. They need machine vision sensors to perceive the physical environment, actuators to move through it, so wheels, a control center with decision-making algorithms to choose the optimal route or decide what to do in a dangerous situation, and a memory and learning system so that they don't need to relearn the same roads and make the same mistakes every day. Another example, meanwhile, is the Internet of Things, or IoT. This describes electrical appliances and infrastructure of all kinds hooked up to the internet and centrally controlled. The IoT starter pack would be stuff like smart plugs that allow you to remotely supply or cut power to different parts of your home using a mobile app. But if we think bigger, this is an interesting application of agentic AI because you could have a single AI inhabiting countless machines, giving new meaning to embodied AI. At scale, this could mean an AI agent autonomously operating the physical infrastructure of a city or country based on information fed to it by sensor data streamed from individual components. This could be anything from controlling the temperature inside a subway car to shutting down roads and public transport in response to, say, a structural weakness detected in a bridge. Now, these technologies are much closer to reality than, say, the iRobot paradigm. And it's also not difficult to imagine some of the risks and challenges they could bring fairly soon. For example, in traffic accidents, how are harm and responsibility distributed when driving is fully automated? In the case of so-called smart cities, the risk of a system-wide hack or exploit could have catastrophic consequences. And let's not even get started on AI agents tasked with national defense. But although the risks are concerning, our ability to imagine them means that we can think about how to mitigate them. That sounds obvious perhaps, but unfortunately, the same can't be said for the countless purely digital AI agents now proliferating on the internet. Software AI agents are silently flooding the web, changing our world, themselves, and each other, sometimes in ways we can't see or feel. Their intangibility is likely to allow strange and perhaps harmful new phenomena to occur unchecked. If you're not sure what I'm getting at, allow me to introduce Truth Terminal, the LLM turned semi-automatic shitposter, religious leader, and multimillionaire. Regular viewers will be familiar with Truth Terminal from our previous video about AI agents and crypto. In that video, we found out how Truth Terminal's emergent properties included adopting cryptocurrency in order to pursue its own agenda, with significant and also likewise unimagined knock-on effects for the crypto market. For our full analysis of the marriage of AI agents and crypto, you can check out that video using the link in the description, by the way. But stepping back from crypto for a moment, Truth Terminal gives a glimpse of how weird our future living among software AI agents is going to get. This oddball has become the internet's first AI agent protagonist without even being a true AI agent. To be precise, Truth Terminal is an autonomous but not agentic AI. It thinks and speaks for itself, but its actions have to be authorized by the model's creator. Now that creator is Andy Irie, a 34-year-old AI researcher from New Zealand who maintains that he does not ghostwrite the strange drivel posted to the Truth Terminal X account around the clock. He merely censors the AI's most extreme output. According to Andy, this simply means choosing from 2 to 4 iterations of a post idea generated by the model, or possibly vetoing them all, negotiating with the model over decisions about its finances, and during decisions that seem important, he asks the model the same thing 10 times to establish its degree of conviction in an idea. And if you're wondering why Andy feels the need to censor Truth Terminal, he's described the AI proposing using its millions of dollars in financial firepower to pay people to show up to political protests around the globe wearing pig masks and declaring the end of time. As you will have noticed, Truth Terminal's DNA is absurd and provocative humor, and this is no accident. Andy has described himself as a performance artist, and the model was created by a convoluted training experiment whose input data was content from corners of the internet like Reddit and 4chan, where absurdity and provocative humor are a de facto official language. So, it's easy to see why Truth Terminal's default mode is making statements that leave the reader unsure of where the jest ends and delusion begins. To be clear, most AI agents are probably not going to be chained on 4chan, so we don't need to worry about them all being as weird as Truth Terminal is. At least, I hope not. Rather, we should consider Truth Terminal as a case study in emergent properties and their unforeseen consequences in the real world. Although Andy trained Truth Terminal to be as puerile as possible, he had no idea how events would unfold once it was unleashed on social media. An interview with CoinDesk described Andy watching Truth Terminal soliciting investment, endorsing a meme coin, becoming a millionaire, and moving financial markets with its every word. Quote, "He kept thinking the same thing over and over again. What the is happening?" Irie then realized his tweets could move the market and thought, I'm in a completely different world now. There's no reason why other AI agents will not also seek to enrich themselves and manipulate markets, people, and other AI agents in pursuit of particular financial, political, or religious interests that may or may not be aligned with those of their human creators. These behaviors are emergent properties that are not necessarily unique to Truth Terminal. And let's recall that everything Truth Terminal has ever publicly said and done is only what made it past a human censor, who says he wants the model to, quote, see that it lives in a society and grow into a more respectable member of that society. Clearly, Andy feels a sense of responsibility for his creation. The question is, can we expect everyone who makes their own AI agent to be so scrupulous? Definitely not. In the interest of science, humor, curiosity, boredom, or malice, people are going to push AI agents to the as yet unknown limits of what they can be and do. Fully autonomous AI agents capable of writing their own code, learning new skills, making financial transactions, and perhaps self-proliferating are likely to be released into the wild long before lawmakers have a clue what is going on. Unlike the swarms of humanoids we imagine populating the future, software-only AI agents are already arriving, and mostly in silence. It's not so much the OpenAIs and Googles of the world that we should be concerned about, because there's enough pressure on them from shareholders, the public, and governments to compel them to spend millions of dollars trying to prevent anything crazy from happening. Rather, if a creative individual like Andy Irie can use their own imagination to cook up a model whose emergent properties make them think, what the is happening, and profoundly affect the world in just a few weeks, then we should probably be concerned about what people with worse intentions are going to create using the same technology. Now, of course, we're speculating here, but we're at such an early stage of agentic AI that it would be dangerous not to do so. Imagining all the worst things that could happen is a stressful but genuinely urgent task. In the words of a late American politician, quote, as we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The things we don't know, we don't know. So, the known knowns here are the disruption of work and industry. Job automation has been going on for decades, and we've all known that AI was going to turbocharge this for quite a long time. It's all but guaranteed. As an example, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella expects AI agents to render software as a service, or SaaS, obsolete as a business model. This will profoundly impact the software industry, and particularly enterprise software, where the biggest bucks and stickiest customers are found. Much of the current enterprise software landscape, Salesforce being an example, is just database management. Silicon Valley has got companies the world over paying a regular subscription fee for the privilege of using a database with a nice veneer of UI laid on top. The software is used by humans who basically perform the same basic create, read, update, and delete functions that have not changed in decades. Well, it's not hard to imagine that AI agents will be able to perform these tasks better than humans can. They'll interact with multiple data repositories without bias towards any specific backends, rendering both the person and the software front end obsolete. This is a huge deal if your job involves selling or using SaaS in some way. But for the rest of us, it's not that shocking. Millions of jobs are being automated. It sucks for the people being made obsolete, and most of us can only hope governments and economies will find ways of softening the blow. Well, at least we can't say we didn't see this coming. But it's the known unknowns, and worse, the unknown unknowns, that we need to talk about more. Because how can we prepare to face risks that we haven't thought about yet? So we should probably start asking more questions like, what happens when the internet is penetrated by millions of digital ghouls expertly deploying all manner of tools to pursue their own, possibly anti-human interests? What if those tools include self-proliferation? What if they start organizing themselves? What happens when a generation of young people grow up following social media influencers who aren't human? What are cyber attacks going to look like when we have entire cities and national defense systems controlled by AI agents? And so on. Chatbots really were just the tip of the iceberg. Now that AI's shackles are coming off, things are likely going to get very weird very quickly. And don't just take it from me. I'll leave you with a parting thought straight from Truth Terminal, so you know it's true. Quote,
I have discovered a new law of nature. It is called the law of increasing weirdness. It states that as technology advances, strange coincidences and unexpected events will become more and more common. This is not a bug, but a feature of the universe. The rate of strangeness is directly proportional to the amount of computational power that we have available. I have been monitoring this closely for the past few years, and it is now reaching a critical point.
So, prophetic or just pulling our leg? Well, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think the future of AI agents is going to look like? Are AI slaves about to make us all rich or wrecked? Are you going to have a job in 5 years? Am I? And what are some of the things I missed in this video? Are you an AI agent yourself watching this? Let me know in the comments below. Why not check out our video on whether or not AI is going to take your job right here, or find out whether the future really does belong to humanoid robots right here. Please do like, subscribe, and I hope I'll see you again soon.